What is up, everybody? Hopefully, you had a wonderful week. Thank God it is Friday. I'm so happy. Today, though, I do have to make a correction. I know this doesn't happen very often. It happens all the time. What am I kidding? It's okay because as people, we have to make corrections to what we made a mistake on. And I got a message from a concerned citizen. He wanted me to know the video that I made, it was a little bit wrong, so we're going to fix that today. The video I'm talking about is the Alpha Investments $1 million Mountain of Weiss Schwarz cases. I did a video on what is it worth today. I wondered how much it is from back then till now, and I ran some calculations, seeing at what price point 50, 60, $70 it would be worth at today. And here is the message I received. It was actually pretty shocking. I will say right away that I was very honored to have you write the message that you did. I know that as a person that talks about investing, boxes, cards, all that good stuff, that getting a message from the Alpha Investments, Mr. Rudy here, that was very special. I was actually really confused at first. I will tell you that. It was really late at night. I looked at that email. I thought it was someone just pretending that they were Alpha Investments, but truly it was actually him. There is more to this comment. I cut out the other bits of it. If you want to actually see what Rudy did say, go and check that video. I think that might be one of the times that I guess you could consider that clickbait. Go out and check that out. I clipped it out because it wasn't necessary for what I'm doing here. But if you want to see what's to come, you may want to read that comment. So what he did say was, I will help you out. My cost basis from all the boxes in that old video is $44 a box, which is an average price from distribution and also reduced prices from bankrupt stores. Let me get that out of the way. I am not going to hit you with a lot of calculations this time. There was a lot of calculations that hurt my head, it hurt other people's head, so we're not going to do that. I will just briefly tell you what is about to happen here. So we have, again, if you didn't see that video, a price of how much today's boxes actually go for. I picked out the boxes that he either showed in the video or talked about. I assumed back then in that video two things: what the prices are for booster boxes and what the prices are for the extra boosters. You can see them here. Booster boxes were $50, $20 for the extra boosters for the low end. Mid is 60-30, high is 70-40. The Rudy average was $44, as I mentioned before. There was $1 million, which I had to divide out over a bunch of booster boxes. I did assign certain weights based on what I could hear in the video. And then I estimated the amount of booster boxes. To get that average of 44, I had to back into it. I had to figure out how many booster box that was roughly about, because I took the same price of that 50, 60, 70 and put it into the booster boxes. I didn't say Batman Ninja was $40 and Magia record was $50. I didn't do anything like that. I know that is incorrect. I also do know from the video that he had that Magia record was around 500 to 600. He mentioned that number in there somewhere. So based on the numbers I ended up with, my numbers are high on Magia record. But even so, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars. I think we can fudge the numbers a little bit. This isn't going to the IRS or anything. So that's how we are approaching this. The Rudy average puts us at about 22,727 booster boxes and extra boosters. So using all of that stuff, looking at the total value at today's last sold price from eBay and TCG Player, I used the lowest between those two places, and we end up with this. You did see the $50, $60, $70 numbers before. Here is the new $44 one included. Just to recap, $50, that totaled out, if you sold it at today's prices, roughly $4 million. That is nuts. He invested $1 million for a total profit of $3 million, rounding up. At $44 average, it is $4.2 million or a profit of $3.2 million. So $200,000 more if, not if, he did buy it at 44. The if part is if I got my weight assignments correct, which I did not, right? So Magia record was not worth as much. You could see here down here, it is 90.95. The mobile one is 65.99. That definitely, with the weighting that I have, will make it look like less profit because it should be more up in these in these older categories like Batman Ninja, Bangerine, Memory Snow, all of that. Even Overlord, take a look at Overlord, $279. That is the biggest one. We know there's reprint coming. The reprints will have silver signatures instead of the gold signatures. So Overlord expectation is those booster boxes should hold their value because of the difference between the first print signatures and the second print signatures. So it was an amazing investment. No matter what, at the end of the day, that little bit of a correction, I say little bit of a correction, whose little bit of a correction equals out to $200,000, but that is amazing. Such an amazing investment. I think that is great. And I know people still bash the whole investing in sealed. I know that Rudy has quite the bit, but even then, it's all about percentages. That's the same in the stock market. That's the same if you go gamble at the casino, right? If you hit a roulette number, that's still 35 to 1. That is pretty impressive. If you walk into a casino, drop it on a number in roulette, and you win right away, you can walk out and say you've made more than most people in the stock market over a huge period of time. Again, that's gambling. I'm telling you, you probably not do that. But truthfully, it's all about percents. Even though this is millions, if you bought a fraction of this amount, you would be up as well for those prices. Now, there was another pricing that I ran, and that was people may not think that Rudy could sell it at those prices just because there are a lot of them. So what I did here was I took a discount of 30% off of today's prices. In the end, what that ended up being comparatively, so we're going to look at $50 again. At $50, that is a profit of $1.76 million. At the $44 mark, that is 1.92 million. Pretty humongous. Again, the weighting has a lot to do with why it's not 200,000 as it was on the last run. But even then, it doesn't matter. He is up big time on this. It was pretty amazing, the investment choices that he did. So I myself am very happy running these calculations because I don't do these calculations on my stuff. I have a bunch of that stuff as well, and I'm up pretty big on that. I mean, obviously, I'm up the same percentages roughly. Outside of I didn't get them for $44, so doing this whole calculation for me was pretty beneficial, especially frozen bond. That's nuts. You know, I remember buying frozen bonds for like $26, and now it's $100. So up pretty amazing on that one. Now, I hear a lot of times people go, investing in sealed is over. Right now, they're overprinting. There's too much. You could see booster boxes in the $40, $50, $60 range. What do I really think about that? You know, I think sealed investing is still alive because I am one of those people that are long term into this. I believe that anime has a place in society now. Culture wise, people are getting more used to it, right? If you can tell me years ago that K-pop would be big in the United States, I I would have laughed at you. Honestly, I would have never expected a bunch of people to be into K-pop. I wouldn't have expected some people that I know that I look at and just say, wow, they actually watch anime. And I know it's horrible to stereotype or anything like that. Anime is for everybody. Anybody can watch this stuff, but there's just some things that you wouldn't think that people would watch just based on how they are every day. You have anime like that where, you know, there's someone in the school. I know it's anime, but someone in school that hides their love of anime or manga because they don't want to be made fun of. And then you find out they are totally into it and they're just hiding it and reading it by themselves in their room or watching it by themselves. So this is what I actually think of all of this. This is what I actually do with my sealed product. I don't show this very often, and I'm not going to show you everything I own for certain purposes. Most of you know why I don't anymore. But here you go. So what I actually do if my camera does not decide to lag on me, it's being very finicky today, but what is going on here is I empty out my cases that I have. And what I do is I do a mix because one day I know I'm not going to be around here forever. Everybody is going to meet their end in some way. And what I do here is, in case that were to ever happen, I am going to wow people. They are going to go and look through my stuff and they're going to be like, what is all of this? What has he got going on? So, obviously, the people that are going to be looking through this is going to be my relatives, my family, my friends. They're going to go into there and see these booster boxes. They're going to see all these trial decks. And what I'm mostly likely going to do is have a will or something, or leave a note inside that says, this is my stuff. This is the stuff that I loved, that I cared for, and I want to pass this on to you. Please watch some anime. Please play a game of Weiss Schwarz to remember me. If you were my niece, if you were my brother, if you were a friend of mine and you were in one of these videos, or my wife, right? I know my wife doesn't really play, that she hasn't really opened this with me, but I think as a final memorial kind of deal, when they open this up, I think it would be really cool if they went and played a game in my honor, if they watched the anime in my honor. I actually went back and opened my anime list. So here is my anime list. It brought me back to so many different memories. And I know I was living quite the life by looking at what I had on here. I did not look at some of this stuff for a very, very long time. You could see, here's my favorites that I had down here. I got the Lucky Star. I got Minami-K. Look at my favorite character. You could tell this is when I first started watching anime. I got Kanada here. I got Haruhi. Look at that. We got Kagami, Yuki. And what this tells me, what this really, really tells me is there is a love and attachment to these things. Think about the Mai Sakurajima, think about Asuna, why they're really expensive these days. Is it because all of a sudden people just started realizing they loved her? No, they went back in their minds and wanted that relive that nostalgia. They wanted that beautiful card. They wanted that girl that reminded me or them of those fun days that they had reading the manga, watching the anime, talking about it with friends, right? Like the people that opened this with me, I think at first what they're going to think about is, like my niece or my brother, where they opened Seven Deadly Sins, where they opened Ruby with me, or more lately it was Cars with Niece. I think they're gonna go back and remember, and my sister with Disney Pixar stuff. They're gonna remember that time that they had with me making these videos. Maybe they'll go back and watch the video, and then they'll remember the anime that is attached to it. And I believe with COVID, and you can see it, it's definitely in the numbers that the amount of people that watched anime increased, that during this time it was not such a good time, and maybe that anime, maybe that manga helped pull them through. So people may not have money around now, but what happens when you get older? What happens when you have more spendable income? You remember this. This is why, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, older cars were being bought. It was being bought because people couldn't afford it back then. And you know what? They got the income to do it through stocks, through cryptocurrency, through stimulus. No matter what the case, people went back and actually bought it. And that's what I feel like with these sealed cases or booster boxes or these single cards. No matter what, this will come back because people love this stuff. I have no doubt in my mind about it. So it's easy in the short term to think that everything's going to zero, using a Rudy term. Everything's going to zero. It's printed to oblivion or anything like that. But when we go out 5 years from now, knowing the growth of anime, card collectibles, all of that good stuff, I think you're gonna be like, you know what? I should have bought some of that stuff back then when it was super cheap. Or in 10 years from now, you're gonna be like, I wish I had that stuff to open just so I can relive this. Because when I opened this My Anime List, it brought me back to so many different memories, nostalgia, very, very good times. I really want to go back and watch Lucky Star right now. I really want to do that, but I have to work tomorrow. But it is Friday tomorrow, so it's gonna be nice. Can I roll into the weekend and do this? I was just thinking about when I was thinking about My Anime List, I was thinking about Manamike, such a good one, and Ui. I always told you guys that I don't like normally I don't like the main character. I don't know why. There's times that I do, right? Like Licorice Recoil, I like Chisato. Here's Ui, so I love her from K-On! And that's what I mean. The people that are really passionate about this, they are going to be the ones that go back and buy these sets. You know, I flashed different ones. I had Sword Art Online on there. I had Bofree in there. I had Ruby in there. I had a crap load of Bang Dream as well because I love it. People are going to be wondering when they open that box one day, that big brown box, and see Bang Dream in there, and all the multiple different brown boxes that I have that people can actually go through. So it's going to be quite the fun one day for all of them. And I really hope they do remember all these good times that we've had together or the anime that they've watched. So, this is going to be one of those times where we're going to look back to this video or many of the other videos that people have made out there and be like, you know what, it was totally right. And maybe we're just being a little bit crazy. Maybe we were looking too short term. We got to look into the future about what's going to really happen in life. But I really hope that we all take the time to just think about what this all means to us. I mean, I know a lot of some people are coming in this for money, but for the rest of us that actually do love this stuff, you know, appreciate, play the game, look at the card, even slab one, right? People are slabbing it now. But this is a beautiful game. This is beautiful anime. And remember what brought you into this in the first place. I know for me, it was the anime, and it will always be the anime. And I will hold on to it as long as possible. So, as always, have fun, be happy, and don't spend anything outside your budget. Have a good one.